Hi, welcome to a new reading vlog. Recently, I have been in the mood to get into more spring-like books. I've done a spring TBR, which I have shared a few days ago, and I want to start making my way through those books. And this is the first vlog reading from that TBR. And I want to start with A Far Wilder Magic, which was in my recent book haul. And there I said I wanted to start that immediately. And I have waited at least a week to do so. I want to get to it now. This is about a girl that has lived in a small town her entire life and no one really accepts her. She lives pretty much alone in this big manor house. And one evening, I think, she spots a legendary fox creature, which means that there will be a hunt for it. And it's known as the Half Moon Hunt. And at around the same time, this boy arrives at the town. He has been fired from all of his previous positions and he's looking to get a job with the main character's mom, but she's always traveling, which is why the main character lives in this manor house basically by herself. When he finds out she's not there, they end up banding together and taking part in this hunt for this mythical creature. As you can see from the cover, we're going to be having some romance, which is always exciting. And I think I'm going to start reading that today. I have also recently just started The Undertaking of Hart and Mercy by Megan Bannen. And I really enjoyed the first chapter. I'm listening to it on audiobook and I want to continue. I think it's going to be a relatively quick read. I'll probably go for a walk, maybe even later on today, and just listen to more of it. So this is a fantasy romance, a kind of cozy fantasy romance. I mean, can we even get another subgenre in there? But it's about Hart and Mercy. They kind of hate each other in real life. After a frustrating encounter between the two, Hart decides to write a message to an anonymous friend. And Mercy answers him, but obviously they don't know they're talking to each other because it's all anonymous. And then I think they probably start falling in love through the letters, but they don't know that it's each other. And obviously it's going to be messy when they finally find out. But yeah, this is all with a backdrop of a fantasy world that has a few perilous elements that will definitely come into play within the story, but I'm not sure about the details yet. And yeah, I just want to continue reading that, start A Far Wilder Magic. That's all I want to read throughout this video, but today I'm actually excited to do a little bit of DIYing. I got some earrings on my trip to Italy and they're very nice, but they're gold, and in case you haven't noticed, I really only wear silver jewelry, and so I am going to remake them basically with silver materials, and actually sterling silver materials, because that's always better quality and easier to clean, and I want to keep these for a long while. But yes, I think that's all for now. I shared the books I want to read, I shared my activity for today, and I might even go on a walk this afternoon, so we'll see. For now, I'm just gonna drink my tea and start this book. So I'll see you later on. Hi, so it's now the next day. We had such a nice time in London yesterday. We didn't film as many bookshops as I wanted, but we did walk around a lot and I didn't purchase any books. So I'm really proud of that. But today is an exciting day. We have an IKEA delivery coming in at around lunchtime. And so I've been working this morning and hopefully it will arrive on time. So IKEA is bringing a office chair. I purchased a office chair and a few shelves for our bookshelf. We have everything else to kind of redo the bookshelf. We just needed a couple more shelves. I have been planning this for a bit. I was just wanting more space for my special edition books because they're all very colorful and they have sprayed edges. So there's no way of making my bookshelf look minimal with them. And the little space I had before was just too small. And today is the day they arrive. So we're going to be redoing the bookshelf and obviously building the office chair. But first we need to take everything out, move some things around, and then when the delivery arrives, we just need to put the shelves in and build the office chair. But before we move on to all of this, the day before yesterday, I did end up reading up to chapter 11, stopped at the end of chapter 10, which is page 118. I am really enjoying the story of this book. It's exactly what I wanted it to be, even though this first third of the book didn't really go how I thought it was going to, but the atmosphere of this book and the characters are just divine. Yeah, it's exactly what I thought it was going to be in terms of the characters and atmosphere. It is a lot darker and it talks a lot about society and privilege and prejudices, and I'm really enjoying that commentary adjacent to the characters and the hunt plot line as well as the romance plot line. I'm really actually enjoying the whole thing, and I'm quite as excited to sit down this evening and continue reading. You'll now have a sequence of myself redoing this bookshelf. Hope you enjoy. Hi, so I think I have finished for today. As you can see, it's definitely not finished. I still have a bunch of books right here on the sofa and it doesn't look great. And obviously all of the shelves are not even I don't even have all of the shelves in at the moment. And that is because the company that's delivering my IKEA order sent a message saying that they tried to deliver but couldn't. And I don't understand, because we both saw that I was home all day, literally working on this. So I'm confused about that and definitely not happy about it. But I can't do anything, so... Oh, sorry about the light. Sun just came out of a cloud. So yeah, hopefully they'll deliver it tomorrow so I can finish this up. As you can see, I have a whole bunch of decorations behind me and some extra books, and obviously the beautiful blooms. So I guess I'm just going to move on to work. And tomorrow I'll continue and also update you on reading, because I definitely didn't do that today. I'm quite happy with how it looks. We did definitely need more space, not necessarily just for the books. And I'm excited to have a section with all of my read books, which, in case you didn't notice, is just inside the two kind of see-through doors. The first shelf is going to be books that I have read already. And you can see that everything else I haven't actually read. And hopefully that will motivate me to get through them. They're not just my books, but the majority are mine or ours. Quite happy with the result for now, but I'll have to wait for tomorrow to continue. And yeah, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow. Good morning. Our IKEA delivery has arrived, which is why I'm filming here, because the whole apartment is a mess. But I wanted to give you an update this morning before we went into finishing the whole thing and organizing the house, honestly, because it's become a complete mess with all of the books and decorations and just life in general. But yes, let's get into the update. I'm getting into this part, I've read around 2/3 of the book, and I think something relatively big just happened, which I think is going to transport us to the last part of the book, which I'm excited about. That includes the hunt and figuring out the last bits of this romance, and I assume her mother's going to come into play in some way, and I'm excited to get to all of that. I am definitely really enjoying this book. It's pretty amazing. The atmosphere is just something else, but I did want a bit more conversations between the two main characters. At this point, I feel like the romance happened a bit too quickly, and if we had a bit more of their normal conversations in the early days, I feel like I would be more comfortable with this romance. But it's the only tiny detail that I'm not 100% sold in. But the best thing about this book is the social commentary. The way the author wove discrimination and racism, prejudice and disabilities and privilege within this kind of almost magical world. It's definitely mirroring our own world. Even though it's historical, it really does still inform our present day world, and I'm really enjoying that. And I've just now realized that you may hear my dishwasher going. I'm very sorry about that. I forgot to stop it before doing this update. But yes, just before going and building the rest of the bookshelf, I just wanted to say that the best thing about this book is the characters. I immediately fell in love with them and cared about them and wanted them to be happy, and I'm still not sure how they're going to achieve that, but I have faith in them. I think that's it for now. I'm looking forward to continuing this book, but before then, I'm going to build this whole thing while listening to, hopefully finishing, The Undertaking of Hart and Mercy. But yes, let's go do that. I'll see you later for another update. I have finished A Far Wilder Magic by Allison Saft. I finished this morning and I love this book. I'm gonna start with my rating right out of the gate. I gave it 4.75. And the only reason I didn't give it 5 stars is mainly because the fact that we didn't have more moments of just them two like speaking, so we could see the development of the relationship outside of their heads, basically. Then kind of like the last part is very good about that. They start communicating a lot more, but beforehand I feel like the first 2/3 really needed, if not communication about their relationship, just communication in general about themselves and the world and little things, especially the little things, you know, normal day-to-day stuff. That is the only reason why this book doesn't have 5 stars, because I think the atmosphere was spot on. The plot was really good and interesting. It wasn't mind-boggling and super surprising, but it was exactly what a person needed in this sort of book. I think the setting is one of the big things that sold me on this book. The seaside town with the kind of old crumbling manor in the horizon, the woods and the sea, the picturesque little town with the conservative people, the fact that 2 outsiders manage to get what they want in the end and they fall in love. All of those little details is what makes this book really good. They're not really innovative, but they were woven so nicely together with the kind of magic / science, or in this case, the exact name is alchemy. It was all so nicely woven together. And then with the amazing characters, I feel like it just it's a winner of a story. It does give me Howl's Moving Castle vibes, but I didn't really think the plot itself was similar whatsoever, or at least from what I remember. I prefer this book much more than Howl's Moving Castle, where the romance came out of nowhere right at the end, and Sophie was annoying the whole time. Sorry, but those are my feelings about Howl's Moving Castle. I mean, I do really enjoy the book and I love the movie. Sophie is annoying. I think Sophie's much more annoying than Howl. We're getting sidetracked again. Let's refocus. And I think my final thoughts are that this is such a cozy book that I think would be perfect for kind of sitting near a fireplace in autumn, winter, even now beginning of spring when it's still cold. Sitting in front of a fireplace reading this book would be ideal. I obviously don't have a fireplace, but it just gave those warm feelings. Loved this book. But now moving on to the other book I read, and then we'll discuss cozy fantasy. The Undertaking of Hart and Mercy was a good book. I didn't give any updates, I think, throughout the vlog, unfortunately, but I did listen to it while changing the whole bookshelf, and I had started it already, and so I finished it rather quickly. So I gave that one 3.5 stars. I did like it quite a bit, but not enough to give it 4 stars. As I said in the beginning, it's about Hart and Mercy. They don't like each other mostly because of their first meeting and the fact that they're now horrible to each other every time they meet. But they end up becoming pen pals and they kind of develop their relationship from there. I actually really enjoyed how the plot went. I think it is a very good example of what is being done in cozy fantasy recently. The world was quite creative and I did enjoy it. I didn't get it all immediately, but I don't think you're supposed to. I think you're supposed to kind of discover it throughout the book. And also, you don't really need to know all of the details of the world to be immersed in the story. And you are following characters that don't actually know all of the details about the world because there's a lot of mysteries in this world. One of them is a big plot of this book, actually, and we discover it at the end. And I think that's what I liked about this book. It wasn't just a romance in a fantasy setting. It did also have a little mystery. The characters were very good. It was quite a comedic book. You know, it was supposed to be a light book, even if they did mention some darker topics and trauma and all of these things that involve just being a human. It was a fun, good read. It wasn't a super basic read, which I really appreciated. And seeing other relationships develop within the book, not only just the 2 main characters, that was very nice. I really enjoyed that one. But this video was about cozy fantasies. It's the name of the video. What I discovered from reading these 2 books and a few others that I've read in this mixture of genres in the past, and which I will continue to update and develop throughout this year, is that one of the characteristics that defines the cozy fantasy genre, or subgenre in this case, and the cozy fantasy romance, mystery, all of the cozy fantasies, which can be mystery and romance. For now, that's what I've dipped my toes into. A big characteristic is the lower stakes. I technically initially thought it just meant that there was no really life or death situations. But I've discovered that that's not true. because both of these books have had life or death situations and moments threatening the deaths of some of our characters. And normally our main characters don't really die, which is good. So it's a lighter read. It normally has a lot more healthy family dynamics and healthier relationships. You don't really have necessarily like people on the run that much. It feels more like an adventure that a normal person could have. They're not ginormous stakes, you know, world-threatening stakes. They're focused on our main characters and a little small mystery, normally set in a smaller town or within a certain community or just to the characters involved. It's all about like internal struggles and trying to solve this mystery or have a better life or keep the life they have. It's more about the little things in life than saving the world, you know? And I feel like both of these books had this. On one of them, they did kind of end up saving the world, but that's not what they set out to do. It can be life or death, but it's just not a giant scaled problem. I really enjoyed both of the books I read. This one I loved and it may go into my favorite. I think that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed the transformation. I am so happy about it and I'll continue to tinker with it for probably forever, let's be honest, but definitely for the next few days. I'll maybe be doing a bookshelf tour in a few weeks / months. Would you be interested in that? Leave that in the comments, please. And yes, I hope you enjoyed this video and we'll see each other in the next one. Bye!